Alrighty. I wanted to talk about Hoarders Places. Now, if you've seen the one on the house after my uncle died, you would obviously have realised that he was a hoarder. After cleaning this place out, I actually went and started a business cleaning hoarders' properties out. That business sort of went flop, but I learned a few big lessons about being in business, and you know, the things that are easy to handle, hard to handle, and a lot about my strengths and weaknesses in relation to things regarding running a business. So yeah. So what do you got to do, or what's the best moves to make when cleaning out a hoarder's place? First of all, expect mice to be in the stuff. Expect there to be some seriously rotten stuff, seriously sick stuff. You know, I had bags of potatoes in this house that were left on the floor. Those potatoes had, first of all, gone mouldy, then gone rotten, and some of them had then pretty much dried up as well, and they were stuck to the floor and I was peeling off the floor. Some people have dogs, or not so great, how shall we say, sanitation habits of their own. In real bad cases, they'll have bad sanitation habits of their own. In not so uncommon cases, they may have little dogs that tend to shit in the house. In my bedroom, this was the case. Fortunately, it was all completely dry and mixed up with a lot of newspaper that the dogs had torn up. There was a very small amount of dog shit. Maybe only, you know, 3 or 4 of them. Probably only about 3 of them, to be honest. So that wasn't an issue so much here. But in some places it's really bad, you need to tear the carpet out. I will tell you the basics that you will do in the procedures of getting rid of rubbish. There's a lot of things that people don't know about. First of all, there are paper recycling joints. Many of these people have exceedingly large amount of books. My uncle had a few books, yeah, enough. But that wasn't the big issue. The big issue with him was newspapers. Now, I could have gone and taken all those to a paper recycling place. Some of these places, there's a big one we got over here called Visy, and I think his son is, was it Amcor? Either Amcor or Visy. His son has gone to the United States and is in New York City. And the ones over here, particularly Visy, have bins out the front for throw your cardboard in this one, throw your paper in that one, throw your glass in that one, and you can literally just rock up there, whip open the back of your car, turn up with your truck, your trailer, and just start pitching it in. Free of charge, save yourself tip fees. With me, the newspapers, well, I could have carted them all in there, and I didn't know about it at the time when I'd done my uncle's house. There were other places that I'd done later that I did find out where there was paper recycling, and a certain person had that many books that I had most of the back seat full, and the trunk was just completely full of books. I think I ripped all the covers off the books, but the rest of the books, I may not have even done that, but I chucked them all in paper recycling. But with my uncle, I didn't know about that at the time, and I ended up burning newspapers. It took me so long to burn them because the air can't get into them. They all sit flat, and it was so long to burn them, I probably would have been better if I had known at the time just to take the whole lot to paper recycling, just because it took so long to burn them. But in the city, you can't exactly start fires, whereas out in the country we can here. Now, the other one is if there's good books, you can often take them to charities, stores, what we call op shops, or is properly known as an opportunity shop. And Salvation Army, and there's other Catholic charities, and there's even like the we've got a lot of ones here, other charities, medical related charities, blood service and all that. They're sort of got ones as well, and you can take them there and donate them. And and if you have a person who has a lot of clothes that are good clothes, and a lot of books that are good books, do that. Don't hand these places crap because they don't like it. And a lot of these places, when you start handing them crap, they will eventually just cut out all donation taking for periods of time, or whinge to the media about it, and you'll end up, it'll end up in the newspaper, all the complaints about it that they're making. I've seen it end up on TV as well, complaining about people just dropping off stuff and more or less using them as a junk drop-off. But there's a lot of things that you can burn, and basically it falls into three categories: recycle, burn, or rubbish. We have recycle bins as part of our council/county services, and we just used to get them, and I was using all the ones at my dad's work. Now, they had quite a lot of them, and we could have up to 7 wheelie bins at any one time. Now, these things stand basically almost up to my chest sort of thing, and got a top on them about 2 foot by 2.5 foot or something like that. They're quite decent size, and I was using our ones and the ones from my dad's work, and you just fill them up with recyclable stuff. All these jars that he'd kept to make jam but didn't make jam, fling all them in. Old baked bean tins, beer cans. My father in his job was paid partially in wine, because they're at a vineyard and the money situation's pretty tight with vineyards. And also given a lot of samples to try by his boss. I'll try this out, I'll try that, I have a few of these. And of course, when you've got sheds full of this stuff, they don't give you a glass, they don't give you a bottle, they give you 6 bottles, maybe even more, to sample. And that was before they started realising, hang on, do you want to take part of your wage as wine? Anyway, he used to hand on a hell of a lot of this stuff to my uncle. We all assumed he was drinking it. He wasn't. All the boxes were still here. I don't like to knock the person who made the wine, but just let's say that none of it actually was drank. I literally tried every single bottle that wasn't leaking. The bottles that leaking past the cork I didn't try, but every other bottle I did try, and every single one I spat out and poured on the ground. And we had a lot of wine bottles left as a result, and a lot of wine all over the ground, and they all went into recycle. But yeah, things that are going to create a lot of smoke and a lot of hassle, and synthetic clothes and some of these real sort of nasty things. Some things I will burn, the old couches, the old mattresses, because they've got enough land that they sort of don't really mind. It's not going to get all over the neighbours because the nearest neighbour is half a mile away. So I can burn a bit of stuff. The plastics I don't really like burning. Almost all the stuff that was thrown in the bin was plastics, and TV screens and some electrical goods. I do ransack the copper out of the back of the old TV screens, the little coil they got around the back of the tube, and out of the transformer, and keep them, plus any electric motors. And that brings me to another thing, scrap metal. If you've got a lot of steel, things, old engines, car parts, scrap metal. Now, if you don't have the ability to take it to a scrap metal dealer yourself, don't worry. There are a squillion people who will turn up and take it free of charge. Don't think these people are running home with a king's ransom. They ain't making much out of this. They're just barely chugging along. They've got enough to cover their fuel and a bit of other stuff. Before the GFC, in Australia, because we're close to China, you literally only had to get about 2 cars a week worth of steel, you know, a couple of ton a week, maybe 3 ton a week, and you were fine. You were rolling in cash. You had real dough. Post GFC, it all changed very dramatically, and these people aren't really making any money. Don't think that they should somehow hand over a lot of money to you, because they're not making crap. It is barely worth their effort. But this is the scrappers, but they're good enough to pick it up for you and lift it up into their truck and take it away. And so let them do that if you aren't worried about the money. If you've got plenty of time and you have your own truck, take it yourself and get a little bit of money yourself. But you'll find it's not, don't think you're going to make a killing. You got a bit of beer money out of it, but it's not a big deal. What is a big deal is large amounts of car batteries. I took in about 44, and I got something like $350 in one hit or something like that. It was quite alright. There's 860 kilograms of batteries, and it works out 25 cents a kilo. I couldn't even tell you what that is in pounds. I've heard the scrap steel is about 12 cents a pound. I'm not too sure. The prices change all the time. It's actually starting to go up in this country. Surprise, surprise. I didn't see that coming. But yeah, recycle, put in a bin for landfill, or burn, and they're your sort of 3 options. And between those 3 options, you can pretty much completely empty your hoarders out without even bringing a skip in, or you'll need to bring a skip in for the rubbish stuff that you would otherwise put in the bin to get that going quicker. Be careful, make sure it is inside the property with the gates closed, otherwise you will end up with everybody's old TVs stuck in the damn thing if you leave it sitting in the driveway, or you leave it within reach of the footpath to be able to throw a TV in. You will end up with everyone's wardrobes, TVs, old bloody couch, chairs and everything, and then you've got to pay for it. So make sure it's in the back gate. The gates are tall, it's close to the house, and it is nowhere near the back gate, and you may even want to lock the back gate. But yeah, there's so many ways you can get away with not actually having to put it in rubbish. And if you've got someone who's got a decent farm property and you've got a lot of old books or paper that is really nasty and yuck and not worth recycling, or even if you've got a lot of cotton stuff, cotton burns fantastically, then yeah, throw a match on it.